Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show, and it's time to get your mutual fund portfolio queries answered, because I'm sure you must be having a lot of financial goals, and for each financial goal you need a proper financial strategy that includes a lot of financial instruments as well. But then how do you identify which is the right strategy or investment instrument for you? To navigate through all of this, today I have with me Hemant Rustagi from Wiseinvest, who will be answering your queries. Hemant, good evening and welcome to the show. And before we connect with our viewer online today, let us just also flash our WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571, and our email ID, themoneyshow@etnow.tv, where you can send across your questions. Let's begin. I have Mr. N.T. Rao from Bhubaneswar on the phone line with me. Hello, good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, madam.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. I can hear you, sir. All right. So, any more addition in the question that you might want to do, because we have your questions and our expert also has your query. So, if there's nothing to add, we can proceed with your answer.
Yeah. Actually, through mail I have given, madam, regarding.
Okay. So, I will just cross-check the details with you. You are a very aggressive investor. That's a very important thing that you've identified yourself with, and it helps us to formulate your strategy as well. So your goal is to achieve 80 lakhs in 3 years, and 50,000 SIP you are doing, and you've got a couple of funds also in your portfolio. You've got Nippon Small Cap, Quant Mid Cap, SBI Contra, Axis ELSS, Quant Small Cap, a lot of funds, I should say that. Motilal Oswal Mid Cap, Tata Flexi Cap, ICICI Pro Bharat.
14 funds.
Yeah. Right. Any specific reason why you have such a vast portfolio, sir?
Basically, ELSS, monitoring 3 funds I am investing. Actually, locking period is 3 years. That's 1 or 2 funds I am continuing. After 3 years, I want to cut down further.
Okay. All right. So let's just consolidate your portfolio, and then let's figure out a plan, and let's see if you can achieve 80 lakhs in 3 years. Any specific goal that's tied with this amount?
Yes, I'm having goal to build a house.
All right, and you think, okay, all right, so that's the amount you've calculated for yourself, which is 80 lakhs. All right. Hemant, any more clarity do you need from Mr. N.T. Rao?
No, Kavita, I think we have the information required to answer his query. Look, I mean, he has clarified that his time horizon is 3 years, target is 80 lakhs. The accumulated corpus to the mutual fund is already 18.42 lakhs, and is doing SIP of 50,000. And like he mentioned, he has around 14 funds in the portfolio. So even though he also has investment in NPS, ULIP, and also I think PPF, we will not consider that, because we are specifically talking about this target to be achieved over the next 3 years. Now the basic issue here is the time horizon of 3 years. So if he continues his process of investing what he's investing right now, that's 50,000 rupees through SIP, and the accumulated corpus of 18.42, if he continues this process for the next 3 years, the expected corpus is somewhere around 48 lakhs. So I doubt whether he will be able to achieve his target. There is going to be a gap there. The second important issue here is that there are 11 or 12 funds in the portfolio, like he's already mentioned there. While I would say there is a clear case of consolidating the portfolio, but considering that there is not enough time, even though there are 3 years you're investing through SIP, so the average holding period is only 1.5 years. So while I would have liked you to kind of consolidate your portfolio, but I don't think it's the right time to do it. The good thing is that the funds that you've chosen in the portfolio are good. So maybe you can continue with this rather than trying to kind of consolidate that. The second important thing is, if the money is required immediately after the completion of your time horizon of 3 years, you need to be a little careful, because you are investing in equity. And if for some reason there is a volatility in the market, or if there is a fall in the market, you will see the value of your portfolio depreciating at that point in time. So either you have to have a flexibility of 6 months after 3 years, that in case there is a volatility, that you can hold on to this investment for some time and allow the market to settle down and then take out. Or else you will have to kind of start rebalancing your portfolio 3 to 6 months prior to completion of the years, because the last thing you want is to continue investing till the last day. And then suddenly if you see there is a volatility in the market, you will see a part of your corpus going down there. A second important thing, Kavita, here is that he is investing in 3 LSS funds. So I think the SIP amount is 10,000 rupees there. Now the problem, as we know that there is a mandatory lock-in period of 3 years there. So the money that is being invested in the ELSS, unless each transaction completes 3 years, he will not be able to take out that money. So he need to remember that 1/5 of the SIP amount is in ELSS, and whatever the accumulated corpus is after 3 years, he will not be able to take out the entire sum. Only the part where he would have completed 3 years, he can take out. The rest he will have to wait. So the available corpus to him will not be even 48 lakh, it will be lower than that.
All right. Mr. Rao, is there anything else you want to ask Hemant?
Any changes or modifications in my portfolio regarding this
So
fund?
current portfolio, Hemant, it looks fine to you, right? There is no need to exit any fund?
Well, I think the funds are fine, except that there is one housing opportunity fund, which is a thematic fund. But obviously, he's not investing a very large amount in that. He can continue. Like I said earlier, ideally I would have liked him to consolidate in the portfolio if he had a time horizon of maybe another 8 to 10 years. He has only 3 years to go. So what I don't want is for him to pay hefty capital gain right now, because if he is not paying capital gain now, that amount also will continue to appreciate, will help him in accumulating a larger corpus. So that's the reason why I'm saying that he can continue, because the fund that he has chosen are a good quality fund, so maybe he can continue without consolidating the portfolio.
All right, Mr. Rao, all the best with your portfolio. Let's move on. I have Mr. Kittu from Hyderabad on the phone line with me. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
All right, so as per the question sent by you, you have 30 lakhs cash and you want to invest in a small cap fund. Your target is around 1.5 CR in 10 years. Any specific reason why you've selected a small cap fund, sir?
Actually, I'm expecting a returns of 25%. I think I'm putting that in the long term, which is 10 years. So I'm expecting that corpus should be available for my kids' higher education.
Okay. All right. Are you open to any other category fund suggestion as well, or you just want a name of a small cap fund where you want to park in this money?
I'm not much sure on the mutual fund, so I recently started digging into it, and I came to know like small fund caps giving much returns when compared to large cap and mid cap. So that's the reason. So,
Okay, I would really advise you to continue your homework, and so far, yes, I mean, the returns have been fantastic in mid-cap and small-cap category, but Hemant, should this be the only fund or the only category where he should be diversifying his money for the goal of 1.5 CR in 10 years?
Well, Kavita, we know that small caps have been doing very well. They performed very well for the last couple of years. And I'm not saying even for a second that they will not continue to do well going forward, but I think somewhere we need to kind of tone down our expectation from that segment. And of course, by nature, this particular segment tends to be quite volatile. So while we see the return, over a period of time, the returns are fantastic, but also I think one factor we tend to ignore is that the volatility in this particular segment. So it is never a great idea, despite the fact that this is potentially the best segment in the stock market, that you invest your entire sum in this particular segment. I think it's important to also diversify your portfolio across different market segments, which is large cap, mid cap, and small cap. Of course, if you happen to be an aggressive investor, maybe your allocation to small cap can be slightly more than the other two segments. But investing 100% in that, I don't think it's a great idea. Even though I would say that he has a time horizon of 10 years, which is ideal for investing in equity and also making your portfolio aggressive. But again, I'll come back to the point which I said earlier. Have a portfolio of all the three segments. So if he continues to invest for the next 10 years, which is what his time horizon is, he can expect to build a corpus of around 1 crore. I'm assuming annualized return of 12%. Obviously, he talked about certain percentage and the kind of return is small cap funds have been giving. But I think it's always good to be a little reasonable in terms of expectation. And then if you get better, obviously it's good for you as an investor. So I would recommend a combination of different funds. Would be HDFC Large and Mid Cap Fund, invest 10 lakhs. Motilal Oswal Mid Cap, invest 10 lakhs. And maybe Bandhan Small Cap, 10 lakhs. Since it is a one-off investment, my recommendation would be not to invest everything as a lump sum. Maybe invest 30-40% as a lump sum, and the rest through systematic transfer plan over the next 3 to 6 months. This will allow you to ensure that you're not kind of committing all your money at one particular level, because we have budget around the corner. There can be some volatility. So just be wary of that. Invest as a combination of lump sum and systematic. And as I mentioned earlier, I strongly believe that you should have a diversified portfolio rather than investing 100% in small cap.
Okay, I hope, Mr. Kittu, that solves your queries. And on that note, it's time up on the show as well. Thank you so much, Hemant, for being on the show and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And just in case you haven't written our WhatsApp number, it's 865-797-4571, and the email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So, waiting for your questions, and you will be doing your live financial planning on the show. Do send us your questions. Thank you so much. Bye.